Right, so we've now just arrived at Great Witchingham and I'm just going to start getting him ready for the dressage. I'm going to take his bandages off and then I'll start packing him up. Wow.
He is actually asleep.
He is. He's gone. We've just got here, Ruffian. You should be really excited. So I'm now on for the dressage. We're going to head down to the warm-up arena. I hope that the dressage test goes smoothly and that he's a good boy. So I thought I would take you through a voiceover of my dressage test on Ruffian. So he came down the centre line really nice and straight, and then at X we had to peel off round to H. He's really nice and relaxed during this dressage test. He felt really smooth. There was a nice size 15-metre circle. He's quite a lazy horse, so I find it really difficult to keep the impulsion. Up the centre line and then peel off at X round to M. And then it's a very symmetrical test, so then it is another 15-metre circle at E. Keeping his rhythm nice and regular. Popping into canter on the left lead. He has a really long stride, so it's really difficult for me to try and keep him relaxed and concentrating. Popping into trot at X. And then preparing for the walk. Again, trying to keep the impulsion in the walk. He has a really lovely walk, but again, I find it really difficult trying to keep the impulsion. And then preparing ourselves for trot at A. Has a really nice trot coming out of the walk. And then into our canter on the right rein. Again, trying to keep him nice and balanced and relaxed. And then trot at X. He was a little late on this transition. Has a really nice rhythm in the trot. Cross the diagonal, get to X, X to G. He's a little bit wobbly coming to the halt. The halt could have definitely been better, but I thought it was a really nice, fluent, consistent dressage test, and I was really happy with how it rode and how it felt. Right, so I've just finished the dressage test now with Ruffian, and I thought it was quite a fluid test. He did a really good job with his transitions. He was a little bit tired towards the end of it, but actually after the second canter he woke back up again, and then our halt could have been slightly better. But actually, all in all, it was a really good test, so I'm very happy with him. Good boy! I'm now just tacking Ruffian up for the show jumping. He's had a nice break on the lorry, but I wasn't able to walk the show jumping because my dressage times and the course walk, they clashed, so I was unable to actually walk the show jumping. So I've just had to watch a few horses go round. So hopefully it rides nicely. Right, and now for our show jumping round. He jumped in over fence 1 really nicely. A nice forward canter to fence number 2. After fence 2 he lands on the wrong leg, and I really tried to get him back to trot, and as you can see he just sort of wasn't listening to me, and then came disunited into fence 3 and then completely twisted over the fence and knocked it down. I could have definitely ridden that a lot better, as I had all the time in the world to bring him back down to trot, but for some reason he just didn't really listen to me. Had a bit of a flyer over fence number 5, and then a really nice jump over number 6, and then here I think I managed to kind of regroup myself and set us up really nicely for the one-strided double, which he jumped through really nice. Again, landed on the wrong leg, but I balanced him a lot better around the corner, meaning he could jump the spread really nicely. And then I thought it was really mean to have the last fence as an upright coming down a hill, but he jumped it really nicely, and big pats for Ruffian. Right, so I just finished the show jumping. He was a good boy, but coming after fence number 2 round to number 3, I couldn't get him to trot and change his legs. So I think if I changed his legs in time for fence 3, he wouldn't have twisted. It felt like he twisted his back legs over it and knocked it. And then the rest of the course was all right. He's just quite strong, quite long, quite gangly still. So I just need to sit up a bit more. But he was a good boy. I was happy with the round. Right, so Ruffian and I are ready for the cross country. A bit disappointed about the one pole, but it is a training event. So I shall know for next time to try and gather him back before changing his legs, because he still doesn't know how to do a flying change. And yeah, onto the cross country. He looks fast asleep. And I hope that it will be a nice, safe round. So I just finished the cross country, and we had one stop at the second to last fence, where it was the ditch, and then one or two strides to a roll top, and for some reason he just decides to veer left. I completely missed it. Came back around and jumped it happy the second time, but something must have caught his eye or something, because it was such a short distance between the ditch and the roll top, and it wasn't a spooky roll top, and he just veered left and missed it completely, which was really disappointing because the rest of the round was fantastic. He went straight over the ditch palisade. He went straight through the water first time. He jumped every other combination really confident. And then the second to last one, he just runs out at. Bit disappointing, but this is why we come to training events. And my next event is at Little Downham in about 2-3 weeks' time. So I shall be practicing. But he was a good boy. I've now just finished untacking Ruffian. Ooh, cut.
Have another go.
I've now just finished untacking Ruffian, and he's just had a bath and he's got his ice boots on. Reflecting back on the cross country, it is annoying, but you have to take away the positives, and he did do everything else really confidently and really well. Bearing in mind we've had problems in the past with ditches and water, he actually did both of those really, really well today. I can go away and train better and work on things that need to be worked on. Young and quite green. I think this is his fourth ever event. Very pleased with him. Bandage him up and then load him and then take him back home, and he can go back out in the field. I would just like to note that actually it was such an achievement to be able to come home safe and sound, both rider and horse. Our sport is a dangerous one, and he was a very good boy, and I think he's going to really enjoy his dinner and his field time. Right, so Ruffian and I have just got back from Great Witchingham. As I said earlier, onwards and upwards for the next event. He's now going to enjoy his dinner, and then he's going to be popped out into the field overnight. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.